So I'm in this point in my life that I'm trying to make the decision whether I want to be a mom, and with you guys both having Dean, Sam, and Jack, which all had violence, and in my opinion, there's a lot of violence in this world. What is your opinion on motherhood these days?
Oh man, that's a big question.
Well, we're both moms of little kids in real life, which probably, if you're considering not having a fake child on TV as opposed to really having a child, it might be more pertinent. Also, Dean and Sam are impossible to parent. And as it turns out, Jack as well. We've talked about this, though. We've talked about the...
I think in the middle of like while I was having...
Well, we were sitting there like, yes. Yeah. What do you do about this when this happens?
What do you think about... Did you experience this too in real life and not the fake one we're doing right now? He is going to be 7 in August.
Mine is going to be 11 on Tuesday.
Oh my God.
So big.
Yeah.
I think the world has always been inherently dangerous. The dangers now feel bigger because they're newer, but they're just different. There's always been danger. We're just maybe more aware of them now as well because the internet is so immediate, in my opinion. And I think you just... I've always felt like it was my job to put a strong, independent, self-reliant human, male and female, on the planet if I'm going to have a child. And so that has been what I have tried to do is give him the courage to go seek his own boundaries. But, watching like this sometimes, but still letting him push. And because of that, I think he's pretty safe. Because I don't let him run wild, but I talk about things with him. And at a certain point, you have to just trust them. You have until they're about 5 or 6, really, because then they spend more time with their friends and their teachers than they do with you. So I think until 5 or 6, you really just talk to them as much as you can, instill as much like common sense, and don't just tell them everything. Let them figure it out, and then like course correct a little bit. Like, well, what about this? How do you think about that? Because if you don't teach them to think for themselves, and then let them out when they're 15, they're going to make really bad choices because they've never had to pick anything on their own. That's what I'm doing, And put a fucking tracking device on it. He's got a watch. I can find him anywhere.
Just to add my 2 cents. Ooh,
We want like 100 cents.
This is me debating whether or not to get real. If anybody has been to like a Legends Q&A, this is always something that I struggle with because I'm like, how real do you get? But listen,
These guys can take pretty real.
is the world dangerous? I think it always has been dangerous. Being a human in the world, being a mammal is dangerous. So I think, oh God, okay, here we go. Here we go, everybody. I think the biggest, this is just my opinion, but I think the biggest gift that you can give your child or even your significant other or yourself is to go to therapy. Woo! Okay. Because this is why. We have all experienced traumas in our heart, whether they are, we could have, and I'm talking about our families of origin, whoever, if it was a mom or a dad or any caregiver, a wide array of traumas, whether we feel that they're, smaller than maybe somebody else's who is, beaten every single day of their life or whatever. It's not one is bigger, one is smaller. It's our heart and what has scarred it, right? And the people that did that to us were traumatized, and they're acting out their trauma on us, and the people that did it to them, and back and back and back. And so when they call something like, in families when there's like systemic, like this awful dysfunction, this thing that happens over and over and over, right? They go, oh, the sins of the father. it's not this like magical, mysterious thing. It is a trauma that hasn't been dealt with that is passed down, and it repeats, and it repeats, and it repeats. So if everybody, and it's so painful, I'm not saying any of this stuff like it's easy and you go and it's fixed in a week. It's not. It's awful. But if you can make it stop with you, even if you've had your child already and you're like, shit, I'm doing that thing that my mother or my father or my caregiver or whatever did to me, you can still stop. Go to trauma therapy and stop so it stops with you. So apologize if you've done it already. I am sorry, I made a mistake, this is not who I want to be, and let's work it out together. Own it. Fix it, work to fix it. It is not easy, it's horrible, it's the worst dragon you'll ever face down, ever. But if you do, if everybody did, that's it, man, we've stopped this, literally. That's just something that I've been doing a lot of thinking about just from playing villains a lot, right? And you have to get into the mind of somebody who does really bad things and you can't judge it. You have to think, why are they doing this? And every bad guy or villain, they're not sitting there really, for the most part, going, ha ha ha, I'm going to do this bad thing. I don't know what that accent was. They're justified in their own mind. They think, I'm doing this because it's the right thing. I'm doing this for a reason. And I thought, oh my God, everybody has pain, but these villains are taking their pain out on other people. And then, you know, that's not healthy. And then just to take the pain out only on yourself, that's not healthy. It's to get it out, and you look at it in the face, and you process it, and eventually, you know, you dissolve it. That's how you stop it. Anyway, I'm saying too many things. I'm done.
Thank you. So,
I have a really embarrassing story of meeting Alex for the first time, though. It's really embarrassing. I've apologized to him since, and we've worked together since, so it's all right. But, all right, here we go. So Kelly to me was and is just pure unconditional love. She's just love. And in order to, you know, do the season and not be like weirdly hyper aware of this foam prosthetic belly that I'm wearing and like, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, I just really went hard into the commitment of, this is, you know, this is my son, and I will die for him, and I love him with all my heart, and every day it was just connection. You know, for the whole season. And then the last day where I had filmed his birth and my death, Alex was there to film that bit in the very last part of the season where you just see his eyes. He's in the corner and you just see his eyes and he's naked. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so he had come to film that. And so I didn't know that. I didn't know he was there. And so I had just given birth and died and like this, I spent hours just like, just crying. And I am in that space. It is full like Kelly mode mentally and emotionally. I have not disengaged, and I walk into the hair and makeup trailer, and there's Alex sitting right there, getting his, you know, makeup done. And I'm just gonna pause for a second and think about Alex. Here he is, first day actor, first day on a new job. Hello, doesn't know anybody, right? You know, he's not fully, he hasn't lived with his character, he's just starting, you know, still getting to know him as we all do whenever we start a new job. So he's just like, hey, I'm Alex, and I'm, oh my God! What my son? And I am like dirty and like, crying and like the snot's coming out of my and he's like, hey, back and wiping nose, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, the cast is really nice, and it's like, really good vibe, and you're gonna love it. Sorry, I'm to go weird, you know. Just filmed, you know, your birth and my death, and it's just like, you know, well, it was a lot, but.
Alex.
And so that was the first time we met, and I went home, and I was just horrified. I called my husband, I was like, oh my God, I freaked this, get out, and like, oh no. And so it wasn't until like later when we had a chance to like work together and then sit, you know, off, you know, where the actors sit on the side, and just kind of get to know each other, and he found out I was slightly less weird.
Is if you could bring back, or if Sam and Dean both died, who would you bring back?
Oh my God!
You could only bring back one though.
And my phone's ringing. You take this one.
No, that's yours. You're their mother. Come back.
I would choose to die to be with them. Conveniently, I'm already there. There's always trick answers. You can be like, well, I'll pick the one whichever knows a spell to bring the other one back.
No, that's amazing. I'm learning every moment. Same answer. I mean, I only have one child in real life, but if I had two, it would be. But you could never. I could never choose one. Nope.
Good try.